Hello, my dear students. Today I am going to talk about a great poem by a great poet. The poem is Ulysses and the poet is Alfred Lord Tennyson. Ulysses was published in 1842 during the reign of Queen Victoria, and this era is known as the period, the age of Queen Victoria. I think you know about the spirit, the tendency of the Victorian period. This was the time when English Empire expanded exponentially. This was a time when new adventures and explorations took place. It was a time when Darwin expounded his theory of the survival of the fittest. This was the time when railways, when the steam engines came into existence. The power of steam was used in the empire. This was the time of public awakening. This was the time of industrial revolution in England. And this was the time of manifold social changes in the country. When industrial revolution took place, people were uprooted, they left their villages, they migrated to big cities, big towns, and there were factories, there were new settlements, there were filth, degradation of culture also. There was pollution, there were slums all around, dirty buildings, jungle of concrete, everything. And there was a debate whether we should stop here or should continue exploring the world, exploring the mysteries of science. So in this poem is maybe called a representative poem of Victorian age. How? Because the protagonist, Ulysses, is a mythical figure. He has been taken from Homer's Iliad and Odyssey. So he fought fierce wars in Troy and elsewhere, and he returned to his kingdom Ithaca, and he did not like sitting idly when he reached Ithaca. He did not like sitting idly in the kingdom. So let me tell you about the story itself. First of all, the story of Odysseus begins in Homer's epic poem, the Iliad. But his second poem, the Odyssey, relates the tale of Odysseus wandering the seas for 10 years as he struggled to return from the Trojan War. Odysseus ruled Ithaca, an island kingdom. Penelope, Odysseus' wife, had borne him a son, Telemachus, just before the events of the Trojan War began to unfold. The war with Troy lasted for 10 years. Odysseus, or you may call him Ulysses, along with the Greek warriors, defeated and destroyed Troy and desecrated the temples and altars of gods in the city. And this action of theirs angered the gods. The angered gods took revenge upon the Greek army by scattering the Greek fleet by a fierce storm in the ocean. Odysseus and his men got stranded in the vast ocean. It took 10 years for them to reach Ithaca back. Odysseus, or his Roman form Ulysses, and his men first landed at the city of Syconis. And these restless people again attacked and sacked the city, which angered the god Zeus. Zeus caused another storm that blew Odysseus even farther off course and into a realm of monsters, which is the realm of the dead. The first stop on their adventure is to the land of the lotus eaters. And the inhabitants of this land prepared food and drink from flowers which had drug effect. When some of Odysseus' crew had the food presented by the lotus eaters, they became intoxicated and forgot their goal to return home. They wanted to stay among the lotus eaters forever. Odysseus had to drag them. He had to drag these men to the ships in order to carry them safely away from the island. The ship of Odysseus reached to an unknown island again in order to find a place of taking rest. They entered a large cave. They did not know that it was the place of Polyphemus, the Cyclops, a one-eyed man. The Cyclops entered the cave in the evening with his flock of sheep, blocked the entrance, and ate 2 of Odysseus' men. Odysseus had to escape the cave after a great difficulty. He had to devise plans, he had to tie himself and his men to the bellies of gods and had to escape. After the nightmarish experiences at the island of the Cyclops, Ulysses had different experiences and adventures at different places. Like he had encounters with King of Winds, with Circe, a witch at her island. He visited the underworld also and faced the sirens, who were mythical bird-like creatures whose beautiful voice lured men to their deaths. It took 10 years for Odysseus to reach his own kingdom, Ithaca. So this is the story in brief. This is the background. I have only tried to acquaint you, familiarize you with the story of Ulysses, which has been mentioned by Homer in Iliad and Odyssey. Odysseus is the